Hey there, I'm Mastin Kipp, founder of thedailylove.com and author of the book, Daily Love Growing into Grace, and welcome to this week's episode of Daily Love TV. This week, I want to talk to you about the spiritual message of feeling overwhelmed. I've coached dozens and dozens of spiritual entrepreneurs over the last few months and literally thousands of people over the last few years, working with people to move them towards some destiny or outcome that they imagine or vision for themselves. And what's interesting is that when we give them the tools and the strategies, it could be, advanced marketing tactics online for personal growth entrepreneurs, or it could just be simple communication techniques in a relationship to help, bring a marriage back into harmony. One of the most common things I hear from people is, Mastin, it's so overwhelming, right? Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. And it's said in a way where it's almost like they expect it not to be overwhelming. And so I've really thought about the word overwhelm and what that really means. And then also, I believe in everything in life, there's always a gift or a lesson. And when we can learn the lesson and see the gift, the energy starts to shift. So what is the lesson in feeling overwhelmed? The lesson in feeling overwhelmed means that you're growing, right? When you start to grow outside your comfort zone, or when you start to grow outside your survival patterning, or when you start to grow outside the life that you're used to, it's going to be scary because we have the fight or flight response in the brain, the amygdala, that limbic system, that when we get into uncertainty, we get afraid and we get scared. That translates into the experience and the emotion of overwhelm in our body. And ultimately, what we have to start to realize is that overwhelm is good because you're never going to be given something that you can't handle. You'll never be given a problem that you can't handle. So when you get overwhelmed, that is the time to rely on your faith and to know that you are going through really an education or a training process that's really setting you up for the next level, that next evolution in your life. And so the spiritual lesson of overwhelm is that you're growing and you want to celebrate growing. So when you get overwhelmed, rather than using it as a reason to stop, let's start to reframe overwhelm and start to realize that as you're feeling, quote, overwhelmed, that's actually just your body adjusting to the new life that you're starting to live and carve out and create for yourself. So instead of overwhelm being a reason to stop, let's see overwhelm as a reason to move forward and to keep going and to start to celebrate when we feel overwhelmed and to stop expecting not to feel overwhelmed. Because let me tell you something, if you don't want to be scared, stay in your comfort zone. If you don't want to feel overwhelmed, stay in your comfort zone. But you are watching Daily Love TV, having this conversation and immersed in personal growth because there's something more that you want out of life. You want more love, more joy, more abundance, more free time, whatever it might be, more support for your family, right? So that means that we have to consistently grow beyond our current limitations, which means that we will consistently feel overwhelmed. And so for me, when I feel overwhelmed, I know that I'm just growing. And at some point that cabin will stabilize and that pressure will stabilize and I'll be kind of back where my bearings are. But guess what happens? You get bored and you want to grow even more. And so that sense of overwhelm comes again. So spiritual practitioners who are advanced on the path know that when overwhelm comes, it's a good sign. It's a reason to continue rather than a reason to stop. And so maybe one of the reasons why you've been frustrated in the past with feeling overwhelmed is because you made it a reason to stop versus a reason to celebrate and continue and to keep going because you're learning something new. So you might be watching this video over on Facebook or over on YouTube. I invite you to come on over to thedailylove.com and really just below this video, leave a comment and let me know. In the past, when you were overwhelmed, what did you do? Did you stop? Did you break down? Did you, go back to food or some type of behavior that held you back? And moving forward when you feel overwhelmed and scared, how are you going to see this as a sign of growth? And what new strategy or what new behavior can you really bring to life to really help you move through the overwhelm rather than using it as a reason to stop? And on top of that, if you've done this in the past and it's worked out for you, where you felt overwhelmed, but you got through it, below this video over on thedailylove.com, I invite you to also leave a message and leave a comment and let us know how you did it. Because I really believe that your story of your hope and your experience and your strength can really help people who are just getting started, because together we can grow into who we're meant to be. My deepest wish here at Daily Love TV is for you to get out there, take action, and make it real. We'll see you next week.